Hello, Miss Juanita and classmate. My name is Cristhian Sánchez, and today I'm going to talk about why we need to imagine different futures. Well, according to the TED conference by Anna James, she has visited the future to be able to learn a living, to take evidence of those future for today to experience them. Throughout life, she says that all those trips has given her new things. She emphasized that her husband and her think and create visions of different futures in their studies. They make experiments where they build their own prototypes, giving good results to that expected future, making them tangible and concrete to feel the impact of those futures possibilities. That work they were thinking of doing was a job creating tools where they connect the present and the future to become active participants in the creation of the future they want, and not only for the two but to work of others. Uh, they asked themselves how they were going to do what they were thinking, and they resigned that there was a project called Drone AI, and they were interested to know what like to live with drones in the cities. Drones that have the power to see things that they cannot see, to mobilize to places they cannot, but to be able to move on to all of that and understand what technology really is. But they should go deeper into this topic. They started with the ideas. They made the drones work, but things were not going as they expected. The GPS signals failed in the drones crashed, but by the experimentation they had, they were able to build a concrete portions of a possible future. They have fight and decided to go to that future, imagining that they were living in a city surrounded by drones. They call it the night watchman, and I walk the streets. Often the drone is seen at night, but there was an inconvenience. The noise was often offensive, uh, but it something of a habit. Residents of the neighborhood are registered through that majestic object. Register the children where when they go out to the streets and to have fun but play in areas that are not allowed and are set legal and innocent. The couple realized that by creating that future, they learned a lot, not only how the machines worked, but how it will be to live with them. Wheels drones like Madison and Nightmare in these particular forms are not real yet. Most elements of drone futures are in fact very real today. When Jim was growing up in India in the late 50s, she had the feeling that the future needed and could be planned. She always remembers that her parents planned to do some of the simple things. For example, when they wanted a phone in their home, they asked for it and they had to wait almost 5 years before it was installed in their home. Also, if they wanted to call their grandparents who lived from for them, they had to book a call link, and then wait for days or almost hours, and when the call connected, the phone could ring even at dawn, and they got up and excited and showed them while talking with their grandparents. Now everything can feel so different, that things are happening too fast, that it is difficult for them. They treat their future selves as a stranger, and to the future as a foreign land. They are that future, so it is urgent to fight for that future, and more necessary than ever. They learn a lot. The government of the United Arab Emirates invited to help them shape their country's energy strategy all the way up to the years. She also talked about how they were prepared for any reaction. They worked with kinetics in a chemical laboratory in India. They did some approximations of how the air will be in the next few years, if the behavior will be the same. Then the government announced that they will invest billions of dollars in renewables. They did. They didn't know what part their future experience had played in that decision, but the police had changed to mitigate the scenario. Also, they investigated a particular project about medical genomics. This was about the collection in that of the genetic data of the people to create a personalized medicine, building a clinic specialized in illegal genetics, including a carbon dioxide incubator and frozen mice. They focus on that developed future. Now let's meet Arnold, who has processed for the global company called Dynamic Genetics, since he has illegally inserted the patented genetic material of his body's company. It was a gold process with Arnold's in bringing such a future to live. What was important to us was the people could actually touch, see, and feel its potential. Today, there is a little known bill being passed through the American Congress, non preserving employee wells programs act. This bill proposed to amend the genetic information, popularly known as GINA, and will allow employers to ask about family medical history and genetic data to all employees for the first time. In the work she have shown so far, whether it was drones or genetic crimes, these stories describe troubling futures with the intention of helping us avoid those futures. As a conclusion, I think this topic is very, very interesting because people can have a preview of the future. We all have it, and we all have the ability to use it if we want, and we all use it whether we are aware of, of it or not. Creative power and plays a fundamental role in our lives. We must enjoy our lives, fight for what we want, we must be curious and investigate everything that catches our attentions so we can have to tell our future generations. Thank you.